Slate Deposition Part 2. This will be from pages 58 to 59. Weirded out by that. How did you find out? Because I found out because when I was leaving the room, he made a joke along the lines of, I may or may not have recorded that whole thing. Did you say anything at the time? I can't remember what I said. Did you and Miss Lively talk about that? Then? At any time. Let's first talk about it then. Did you talk about it then? Blake immediately said something along the lines of that wasn't legal to do that. How did Mr. Baldoni respond? I can't really recall what he did. Did he react well? I can't remember. I was very flustered. And going back to the time where Mr. Baldoni referred to Miss Lively as sexy and hot, and you made your statements, you said that he walked away. Did he seem upset? Schuster, objection. Yes, he seemed upset. And what about his manner led you to believe that he was upset? Kind of like walking off in a huff type of mannerisms? Going back to Exhibit 5, at the end here you say, how you feeling? I'm so dead today, my apologies. And then Miss Lively says, you are not dead to my eyes. I'm having a funky time today. You? Uh-huh. Do you see that? Yes. Was that the next shoot day? The timing's a little off on this potentially because we can't tell if it's a GMT time. So, but it looks like it's the next day. Do you recall? I can see what you can see here. Okay, but do you have any recollection of it being the next day when you began this next text exchange? We drop down to page 62 and it goes all the way to page 64. About what was happening? No. Did you arrive at your feelings independently based on your own experiences? Yeah. Hudson, all right, should we take a little break? Porter, yes. Videographer, we are going off the record. The time is 11:46 a.m. This ends Media Unit 1, off the record. Videographer, we are now going on the record. The time is 11:59 a.m. This is the beginning of Media Unit 2. Miss Slate, I'm going to hand you another document that we're going to be marking as Exhibit 7, whereupon Exhibit 7 was marked for identification. Hudson, Exhibit 7 is a text change between Miss Slate and Miss Lively, dated May 25th, 2023, Bates stamp JS 374 through 376. Miss Slate, do you recognize this as a text exchange between you and Miss Lively that you participated in? Yes. And it looks like this continues the prior conversation where Miss Lively says she was feeling funky. Do you agree? Schuster, objection. Yes. And you respond, so funky? Porter, objection. Can you point us to which prior conversation you're referencing? Hudson, sure. Exhibit 5, JS 370. Do you see the last exchange from Miss Lively? She says, I'm having a funky time today. You? And then it looks like you respond, so funky in Exhibit 7. Yeah. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I was confused by the time. Yes. And you recall this exchange as you look at it? As I look at it, yes. Do you remember what you meant by funky? Being unsettled, feeling weird? Did it feel like there were issues that were unresolved? Schuster, objection. Porter, objection to form. Hudson, I'll withdraw that and restate it. Did you feel like there was something that could be done to help you feel settled and less weird as you describe it? Schuster, objection. I wasn't sure. Miss Lively says then that she feels like she needs to say something tonight after rap. Do you see that? Huh? Yes, I do. And then you respond that if you want someone to be there to advocate for with you, I'm there. Were you glad that Miss Lively was willing to speak up? Yeah. And then if you go down below we drop down to page 68 and it will go all the way to page 73. Did you see this as a general invitation to go into her trailer anytime she was pumping breast milk? Schuster, objection, no. Whereupon Exhibit 8 was marked for identification. I'm going to hand you what we marked as Exhibit 8. In addition to sharing your concerns with your manager, did you also share your concerns with your agent? Eventually, yes. And is your agent Josh Pearl? At the time, yes. Hudson, the document that we just marked as Exhibit 8 is a text exchange dated May 27, 2023, between you and Josh Pearl, Bates stamp JS 506 through 507. Do you recognize this as a text exchange between you and Mr. Pearl that you participated in? Yes. And Mr. Pearl was your agent at the time. At the time, he was my agent. And in the first text in this chain, you asked him if Stacy has gotten in touch with him, right? Yes. And then you go to tell him that this week was really intense for a few reasons. It's like fascinating and also so Justin and Jamey are truly unfit. I'm not scared or anything, just repulsed and deeply irritated. And I know Blake is experiencing that on a much more serious level. Is there anything that was occurring on set other than the incidents that you have described? Porter, objection to form. Other than what I've described, I'm not exactly sure how to answer that. Honestly, I think what I described are the issues other than, COVID and the strike, the general chaos that I sort of described, and the behavior that was as described here. I think that's that. And this reflects the feelings you were having at the time. Accurately? Yes. And Mr. Pearl responds, are you okay to continue? Do you see that? Yes. Were you considering not continuing with the film at that time? No. And then you go on to say that you're okay to keep going, but you say, I feel like it's about to get really bad, and I'm not sure what Blake's limit is, but she's really taken a lot of crap from them, like crazy. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that Justin and Jamey freak me out. Like, they tell really weird lies, and Justin is astoundingly wrong-headed. When you say they tell really weird lies, what did you have in mind at that moment? I don't recall. And then you say, I really don't get how he did a TED Talk. He is worse than most of the bros I've encountered, not because he's predatory, but because of his general fragility and misogyny, like not seeming to be aware of any of the obvious no-nos. What were you referring to there in terms of his fragility and misogyny and not being aware of any of the obvious no-nos? The defensiveness of that sort of huffy behavior, the inappropriate behavior, those types of things. Were you referring to the TED Talk that your other agent had told you about before you took the role? Yes. And you understood that to be a TED Talk in which he described himself as a male feminist? Something like that, yeah. And did you feel that his behavior was not consistent with someone who proclaims to be a male feminist? Schuster, objection. Hudson, well, strike that. Why did you reference his TED Talk here? I referenced it because of what I say here. His behavior was really at odds with someone who's apparently an expert enough to do a TED Talk. And then Mr. Pearl asks you if you had spoken with Alex. Did you understand that to be Alex Sachs? Are you, when he says, how's Alex been? Yes. I'm sorry, I'm reading through this because I haven't. No problem. We're going through this kind of quickly. I'm going to ask you another question, so ignore that one. You say you haven't spoken to Alex because when we had brunch, she said she had been friends with Justin for a while, and I just felt weird. Is that accurate? Yes. As to why you didn't speak with Alex? Yes. And what was your understanding of Alex Sachs and Mr. Baldoni's relationship? I didn't know a lot about it, but she said she had known Justin for a few years. And you said at that point he had made the comment to me about looking sexy, but I had decided to just try to push past it, even though it made me feel so unsettled and deeply, deeply disappointed and irritated. Does that accurately describe how you felt? Yes. And then you tell Mr. Pearl that Miss Lively had alerted Miss Giannetti at Sony and that Miss O'Neill was also planning to talk to Miss Giannetti, correct? Yes. And then your last line here in this text chain is, I do kind of feel like there might be a limit to what people can take. There are also a lot of crew people who are pretty upset. Who on the crew did you understand to be upset at that time? People in the hair and makeup department and a couple of PAs? Who in hair and makeup? To watch part 3, the link is right in front of you.